Okay, let's take a look at Capitol Hill now, where lawmakers are running out of time to reach an agreement to keep the lights on after demands from President-elect Trump and his allies like Elon Musk effectively killed a bipartisan stopgap funding bill. Let's bring in CBS News political reporter Taurean Small, who's joining me now from the Hill to talk more about this. So what are the chances of averting a shutdown looking like at this point, Taurean?
Yeah, Vlad, as we approach the 11th hour here on Capitol Hill, things are looking pretty bleak, to put it pretty bluntly. I mean, not only is Speaker Johnson facing the ire from Democrats for reneging on an agreement that they have previously reached, he's also looking at backlash from Republicans. Many in the conference were unhappy with, but some willing to hold their nose to vote for the CR that was previously negotiated in order to avoid a government shutdown. A lot now are coming out saying that they don't even want a clean CR. They're just hoping that we now shut down the government in order for Republicans to get what they want, which is the will of Donald Trump. And that's a CR and also a negotiation or some type of deal on the debt limit. When it comes to now the problem that Johnson faces from Democrats, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said yesterday that now that he is pulling out, he is creating or setting up a dangerous game, looking at an opposition party that will no longer be willing to play ball. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Reached an agreement with House Republicans. It was a bipartisan agreement. House Republicans have unilaterally decided to break an agreement that would provide support for everyday Americans, keep the government open, and avoid a government shutdown. If you break an agreement, you own the consequences visited upon the American people.
Jeffries has been repeating those words since yesterday, first put out in a statement, then he held a press conference. We asked him questions during that press conference. He didn't answer any of them, though, about whether or not he's still in communication with Johnson. He still hasn't made that clear if they're going back to the negotiating table, but it looks unlikely that Jeffries is willing to budge, which could mean a disaster as we come down to the wire here.
Any word, Taurean, from Republicans and Speaker Johnson himself about the influence of tech billionaire Elon Musk on this process? I will note that Elon Musk was the first person to tweet about this, to tweet about his displeasure with this potential resolution, and then the president-elect weighed in. So it's kind of the opposite way of the way things are supposed to work, which is the commander-in-chief, or at least the president-elect in this case, would have that decision. And I'll note that the president-elect also says that he's going to work to primary people in the Republican Party who do vote, if they should vote for this continuing resolution.
Yeah, Vlad, for about 24 hours now, Johnson has been pretty elusive, avoiding talking to the press at all, instead opting to have these closed-door conversations with members of his conference. I would imagine it's to placate some of the concerns that they have, especially after, really, like you said, Elon Musk led the charge here on this. Democrats are saying that Johnson needs to grow a spine. Elon Musk is not the leader of the Republican Party, but it is instructive, the fact that he was kind of the domino that started this effect. Not too long after, we saw that statement from Donald Trump, pretty much in unison, echoing some of the same things that Elon Musk has said. So it appears that Johnson has been significantly weakened in terms of influence on the Hill as Republicans are looking to take clues elsewhere.
All right, Taurean Small for us on the Hill reporting this morning. Thank you. Let's bring back CBS News correspondent Huey-Burns to talk more about this. So Caitlin, it just is sort of interesting to me that, you know, you've covered the White House for a long time now. There's always this notion that folks, whether you're an elected member of Congress or simply a supporter of the president, the notion is always you don't get ahead of the president of the United States, or you don't get ahead of the president-elect. You let the president-elect or the president of the United States make those proclamations and statements, and then you either support or you don't. But in this case, it seems like Elon Musk is leading the charge. Again, he's not an elected official. He's just a guy who spent a lot of money to help Donald Trump win this election. What are you hearing?
Yeah, Vlad, for about 24 hours now, Johnson has been pretty elusive, avoiding talking to the press at all, instead opting to have these closed-door conversations with members of his conference. We asked him questions during that press conference. He didn't answer any of them, though, about whether or not he's still in communication with Johnson. He still hasn't made that clear if they're going back to the negotiating table, but it looks unlikely that Jeffries is willing to budge, which could mean a disaster as we come down to the wire here.
All right, Taurean Small for us on the Hill reporting this morning. Thank you. Let's take a look at Capitol Hill now, where lawmakers are running out of time to reach an agreement to keep the lights on after demands from President-elect Trump and his allies like Elon Musk
Yeah, and he's just a guy who's been hanging out at Mar-a-Lago since the election, at Donald Trump's side at every turn, going with him even last month when Trump went to visit House Republicans at their conference after the election. So he has played an outsized role. There's no question about that. And Vlad, it was really interesting yesterday. We didn't hear from Donald Trump all day on this continuing resolution. We did see nearly 100 tweets from Elon Musk pressuring lawmakers not to support this bill. Now, remember, Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have been tasked to run this DOJ committee to go after government waste. And if you actually see that continuing resolution, it is a stack of paper there. So this was kind of a ripe target for them to try to go after. But there are questions about, what Donald Trump's role is here and whether Musk is leading the charge, at least politically, applying that pressure. You also heard a lot from Steve Bannon yesterday, Donald Trump Jr., and kind of outside influences on these lawmakers. But another interesting point, Vlad, is that, where is President Biden in all of this? He, of course, is still the president until January 20th, and yet you have the president-elect kind of leading this charge here. There is also, it's important to point out that however, Republicans want to handle this, they are going to need Democratic support for anything that they want to do in this turn. And remember, next year, the Republicans' margin in the House is going to be even slimmer.
Yeah, and so, Caitlin, that's sort of my follow-up question, which is this will only hurt, correct me if I'm wrong, wouldn't this only hurt Republicans if they are not able to get this done by the 21st and people all of a sudden are furloughed during the holidays? And that includes Democrats, Republicans, whoever's working in the federal government who now can't continue to work because of Congress's inability to get this done. Wouldn't that ultimately hurt Republicans?
Yeah, delayed paychecks. Think about those TSA lines at the airport when everybody's trying to, do their holiday travel. People not getting paid but having to work anyway. Not exactly a Christmas wish list for those types of people. And here is the issue here is that, Republicans have borne the brunt of the political fallout of this before. Vlad, how many of these have we covered over the course of the past several years? But there is this feeling here that, they want to push ahead anyway, even if the political fallout, doesn't favor them. They're speaking to their base of supporters.
All right, Caitlin Huey-Burns for us once again from West Palm Beach. Thank you, Caitlin.